Well, hello. Here we are. Here I am. Out here on Spirit's Ranch. I am the Off-Grid Oracle. My name is Shesh Shesh. That stands for She Who Whispers Loudly with the Sharpened Tongue. And that's the name the Spirit calls me by. And that's how they've taught me all the wisdom that I have, or that I'm going to have, or that I'm going to gain as I continue to traverse this great thing that they've created for all of us to share and grow in, and it's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing. And it's a thing that is, has been going through a lot of transitional energy right now. The energy has been very transitional. We are, August has been a month that has been, it's been really, it's kind of like I could like the floodgates have been open a little bit. Is how it almost feels. It's like we've been really held back here on hiatus. It's like this year's been about hermitage for me for sure, and I think for a lot of other people too, they could resonate with that. And I think that's about that. There's been a lot of powerful portals have been open, and we've had to I feel that there's a lot coming through those portals. There's a lot that can re-enter back into those portals, and there's wisdom that can come from those portals. But that wisdom also, it's like when that portal's open, it's very hard to discern between the light and the darkness, I think, and so it's like with the chosen ones right now, God is showing us mercy by setting us aside through these transits and allowing us the opportunity to kind of soak in all the lessons that they have taught us. So it's like they've allowed us to absorb the good lessons and the good reasoning and the things that are the Word of God that we're going to utilize as our tools to transition this world into a better and higher state. But the people that don't have that mark on them, individuals who don't have that mark on them, or spirits of the chosen ones who are have been misbehaving, haven't been following the light, they're not as guarded right now by Most High. So like they've been kind of exposed to these energies that have been released onto the earth through these portals with the solar flares and the tectonic activity and everything that's going on right now, all the death and all the destruction and everything, and the fires and all the crazy stuff, right? And so that's all like energy. But the people who have been willing to allow themselves to be shrouded from the light that is God are now easily preyed upon by those dark energies, those dark forces, those dark principalities that are sliding through that portal with all the goodness that God has to deliver, because it always, there's an equal ebb and flow, there's an equal give and take. So it's like goodness doesn't only come through these portals when they're open, it's also accompanied by badness, by fucking the evil, that's trying to alter the consciousness of man. And so if you're seeing people around you who you love or that you care for, and they're just completely falling off, well, right now, Father God's telling us that we gotta love them from a distance if that's the case, and we have to protect ourselves. And like, for those of us who are under extreme attack, we've been completely isolated because Father God knows that we want to heal those wounds. We want to mend those wounds. We want to fix those fences. We want to make that shit better. And we're willing to make ourselves a sacrifice, like Jesus did. Like we're down for that for sure, But right now God's saying, nah, this ain't the time that we sacrifice my chosen ones. That may have been a time or whatever. And but it's not this time, And so God Most High has taken us that have that righteous heart in us that want to save everybody, and set us aside. And so that's not because you're disliked. It's not because you're not seen. It's not because God doesn't hear your prayers or everything. God does know that makes you feel lonely, and that's why they've been coming at you stronger energetically and giving you more of that God love so that your heart could feel filled, like just let God feel your heart right now. Don't be alone. Don't feel isolated, because that's the forces that are working against you that want you to feel that they have something to offer you that God can't give to you, and that's crazy town, and so there's nothing dark coming through these portals that are going to attach to you, chosen one, because you're allowing God to fill your space. There's no empty spaces for them to connect now, that's the way it works, right? If you were to look at it like a docking a spaceship or something, all these evil energies are coming around here and they're trying to attach to you, coming through them, flying through them portals and everything, cross the dimensions and stuff. And so they're trying to attach to your spiritual well-being, you know. But if you have emptiness or lack or any of that other shit that accompanies our distancing ourselves from God Most High, well, that allows a point of connection, a point of contact for these dark entities to attach to you, you know. And then they have a portal where they can enter into your heart space, into your soul space, into your safe space. That's your orb. And they can control you like an automaton or whatever, you know. You become a remote control device. It's like parasitic infection, you know, and so they control you like in a zombie, or them, or us, or me, or anybody who is not aware of where we are not noticing the abundance and the wealth and everything that God gives us, and the love, that everything that God gives us. Because when God fills us up completely and entirely, all of those gates are closed. All of those portals are closed. Nobody can dock on your shit and start parasitism off of you and try to fucking get you to go out and do more evil and wicked shit. That's like a parasitic behavior that makes other people unwell as well, you know? And because that's the way it fucking works, man. And once we get one parasite, that weakens our immune systems, that weakens our systems, it makes us have more doubt and more all that shit, more fear. And then when we do that, that opens us and makes us more vulnerable to other parasites, and they can all just start attaching, you know? It's like them ships in the Matrix movie, you know, when those hunter killers or whatever try to chase them down and everything, and they try to attack them and everything, you know? And so what God has done here with the chosen ones is like they did in that movie when they hit that electric shit, whatever, and it makes that electric frequency. Oh yeah, it shut everything down for you briefly. That's what the beginning of this year was about, because they hit that EMT or whatever that thing's called. And that electric frequency was so powerful that, yeah, it sat you on your ass a little bit, because you had to shut everything down to shake them parasites that have been holding you back, you know? But now you're a clean slate. God's got you all set up and ready to go, and it's time for our next voyage. And so, I guess that's what we're kind of gotten to, that's what God wants to talk about, I guess, you know? And so, the intensity of that last read I did was pretty heavy, you know? There's a lot of stuff going on right now where we need to brace ourselves and be aware that something's coming in here. Okay, it's common knowledge right now amongst the collective. We all feel it strong. I felt it very strong. I felt it for years, you know. But every time I have this feeling, it's something happens. When I get the premonition, something happens. When I speak on it, something happens, because it's coming, you know. And so we know that, and so we can predict this weather here and properly get everybody else who maybe is not so sensitive to have themselves prepared for the storm. And that's a good thing, you know, that's good work. That's a beautiful thing, chosen one, good work, you know, keep your mouth open. Like they said, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, you know. And so if you're a prophet of God, you can't get that message out there unless you speak it. So speak it. Your premonitions, your feelings that your intuition is trying to tell you about everything is right. It's accurate. You're spot on. And that's why when we hear these messages of truth, we all can connect in these higher planes, because it resonates so deeply. And so, you know, it's what it is, man. You can't fuck that up. That's just what it is. We're learning to go back to the forest, you know. We're learning to go back to the garden. And in the garden, everything communicates freely through electric signals and everything. So it's like the mycelium, the mushrooms that are in the soil. They communicate to the roots of the trees and the roots of the plants. And then through the contact with the plants and everything, then the animals are also communicated to as well. And that is why when we step into the forest, immediately as soon as you put your foot on the ground there, everything in the forest goes silent, you know, all at once. And that's because they're communicating with each other. And we used to be a part of that web, and we're going to be brought back into that web, because under that scope is the only way that we're going to survive, you know. And so they're going to reintroduce themselves to us, and we're going to start to hear the forest again as it speaks to us in our internal space as God created us, because we're a part of the forest. And we're going to go back to it once we receive that calling, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to heal God's creation, is when we then integrate ourselves back into being a part of that creation, you know, as a humble servant. Because we have the ability to destroy it if we be anything other than that. And we got to start listening to that again. You got to open your heart space up. We all have to open our heart space up to what Mother Gaia is trying to tell us, to get us to soften us up to the what we human beings have been fearful of in the hand of Father God, you know, because Father God don't want to wipe us off the face of this planet. That shit's bullshit, you know. But Father God ain't gonna sit around also while we neglect our responsibilities to Mother Gaia and we don't listen to our mama because that pisses Daddy off, you know. And so if you feel that your sensitivities, that your psychic abilities, that your intuition, that your knowing of right from wrong, your ability to practice free will and to practice free will accurately and to make those decisions without clouded judgment, that's because you're being activated. There's a lot of activations that have come through in this portal opening, and let's continue that. Let's make that happen. Let's make that grow. Let's continue to recognize that in each other. Let's continue to communicate, and let's continue to get this message out there. You know, we're all like it's like that 5G shit. You know, that 5G only works if they got a thing that can pick up that signal on every single telephone pole. It doesn't travel very far. You know. And that's kind of how we, the human beings, are as well. We have a further capacity to travel through the ethereals than the 5G does, but we eventually have to have another satellite or another tower that can receive the signal from us so that they can boost that signal and get it on to the next one, man. And that's how we do this thing, and that's what we're doing here. And so I really, truly appreciate the outpouring of support that I have gotten. I don't know, God bless, you know, and like things have really, you know, for me, I've always lived very isolated. I've always been a hermit. You know, I don't have any friends, and I've been disowned by my whole family. You know, and so it's like I'm completely on my own out here in these woods, and I don't have people even around me. And when I try to connect with people, I find it very difficult because there's so many distractions that people are suffering from that I can't communicate with them on the same frequency that I can communicate with in the forest. You know, there's too many secrets in the forest. There's no secrets. You know, and so like. In this space though, it's like I'm finding that as we elevate here, as we go higher towards our ascension, as our gifts become stronger, we're finding platforms where we can communicate with each other even across great distances, you know. And so we're doing our job. We're doing an excellent job, and I love that. I think that's great, you know. And I really appreciate it. The likes, the comments, the subscribes, the outpouring of support, the positive support, you know. Like I know that I'm not alone when I say that I do everything entirely alone. I mean, I just do it entirely alone. I'm not surrounded by people, but most of the time, I mean, that's what's so difficult about being around others nowadays is that everybody's so closed off and resistant, you know, and that makes you feel even lonelier almost, you know, to be surrounded by people but not able to connect. I find is makes me much more lonelier than just being alone and staying strongly, firmly connected and rooted in God's creation and with God, you know. And so we're getting very powerful, folks. That's cool. That's very cool, you know. And as long as we continue to recognize that in each other and support that in each other from a place that lacks vanity, that lacks ego, that lacks wrath, that lacks all these plagues that are upon us now, you know, that are so prevalent as the tools that they're running the empire by right now that is destroying God's creation. As long as we continue to have faith and we allow ourselves to be communicated to in the same manner that the birds, the bees, the trees, and the bugs are, you know, then we're going to continue to receive our messages from God Most High, and we're going to go to where they want us to be. And that's the most beautiful thing that we can do, because everything that around us right now is trying to go in the opposite direction, and it ain't fucking working. Father God, thank you very much. Thank you for everything. You're my best friend. You're my lover. You're my everything. You know? Finance individual, finance everything out here is that. You give me a taste, you give me love, you give me everything. And now all I can do is just try to figure out how I can pull that back into you, Father God. You know? So if I could be a tool that you can use, if I could be a weapon, a sword that you could use, and I know that you forged me for that fashion, you know, then the sword doesn't think, you know. The sword is used in the hands that hold it, you know, and I'm that for you, Father God. And so I don't question anything that you do. I don't question anything that you judge, anything that you say. You're the most high judge, the most high one, you know. And like when you share your wisdom and I share that with others, it always strikes home, you know. I'm your child. You named me, you know me by name, and you called my name. You said, shish, no way. You're a spiritual warrior. I have work for you to do, you know, and I answered that calling today. Father God, I love you. Thank you, you know. Thank you for keeping me safe. Thank you for keeping me strong. please protect our message and deliver your word loud, clear, and true. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God built us a house for them to reside in, and that's the most beautiful blessing that we could ever have, and like it's the most beautiful thing that we could ever do. And so yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey. I mean that, I do. I mean that. God says they love you. They love us. They love us. When we all start to pour that love back into Father God Most High, we convince others around us who are lost in their paths to do so the same way. This shit's gonna change, and it's gonna be a remarkable change that is gonna resonate throughout all timelines, intergalactically. It's gonna heal all wounds, and we're that powerful. That's how powerful we are, And when we know that we're that powerful, we'll stand in that light. We're gonna exercise that right that we have, and the world is gonna respond with the same outpouring of support and love that I've received here the last couple of weeks from the collective that I'm trying to build, because they're not going to deny us this truth any longer. They're hungry for it. They just don't know how. They're afraid to drink out of that cup that God offers them, because they've seen the institution destroy the value of the contents within that cup by filling it with poison and deceit. And that's what we were touching on in the last read here. And so, Barry, what's up? Oh, Spirit. Yeah, really? No. I don't know, man. Spirit says. Spirit gave me an attaboy. I'll take it, Spirit. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Spirit. I love you so much. Chosen one day, Spirit. What do we want to talk about? What God wants you to tell us? I know you're sitting there right by God. You got the left hand, God sitting there right by God, man. You're sitting God's lap, right? You're sitting on God's shoulder, man. Sends you out like a little dove for us, man, to light on ours and tell us those stories that you got to tell us that God wants us to understand, So, what are we going to speak about today, Spirit? What does God want us to know, so that we feel protected, strong, and loved, Because that's what we're doing here, right? Whoa, Spirit. Now. Woo! Holy man. That Spirit's got a lot to say today. Yeah, that last read I did, it was a kind of a blacked out read. I did at dark at night. I don't really do a lot of reads at night. I usually do them now. It's just like morning time. I like to do them with my coffee or whatever, right? Here it's morning time. The energy that did come out, though, was, it was really intense, and it was kind of, honestly, it's a precursor of this energy that's here today. We have 2 restroom tokens out here, which is, oh my God, man. Restroom token, man. Help keep the restroom clean. And help keep the restroom clean. So we got both of them, or help keep the restroom clean. On that side up with that restroom token, help keep the restroom clean. Well, that's some of that earth energy. And so I'm almost interpreting these restroom tokens are not the energy of restroom token in the upright position as restroom token, because these tokens say keep restroom clean. On the one side, and it doesn't say please help keep restroom clean. It says keep restroom clean. And so the sturdiness of that tells me, Spirit God right now, God, these are the chosen ones over here. And the energy of the chosen ones with that country girl, country kitchen energy, which she's not out here right now. Our country boy, country kitchen. I got both of them coins in my bag, you know. And this energy right now is us set aside. That's why they're here by me. No way, right? Because these are the energies that where we're congealing. And so we're forming a massive right now of God's chosen ones. And we're going to be stern, you know. We're going to hold down the house because we're sick and tired of cleaning up after everybody right now. We're sick and tired of carrying that burden of having to get shit all over us because everybody else is making a big mess out of every fucking thing. But they won't take that responsibility to clean after themselves anymore, you know. And so now God's asking us to boldly say, hey, you need to help, help keep the restroom clean here. It's like time to clean house, folks. That's what's happening here. That's the change that's coming. And from that last read that I did, we have plenty of reasons why we really, really need to put the gloves on right now and really demand that they help keep this restroom clean here, because we're all going to get a staph infection. We're all going to get a spiritual staph infection that's going to destroy us, you know, because, I mean, if you're swimming in the mire, I mean, it's kind of hard not to get an infection, you know, like that. And if the mire is so deep and so thick because everybody around us is just shitting on everything, you know, we need to protect ourselves. Is what that's saying right here. And so there's two energies right here that are coming out by my energy. And so these are two energies that are highly chosen and that I'm highly connected with, who are also in the same position as I am, as far as standing on their own and demanding that that the mess be cleaned up. You know, we're sick and tired of rolling in the mire. We've had to do the work. We cleaned up our own restroom energy from within ourselves. We cleaned up our own internal fucking bathroom and our own internal restroom. And we put things in order and we've straightened things out. And so now we're like, okay, it's time for everybody to be a big boy and learn how to clean up after themselves. This conversation makes me think of a read I just listened to that was done by 144 from the Stars Tarot, which is Ian. Ian has his mascot there, Odin, his home is familiar, right? And Odin had to sit out one of his reads. He didn't get a treat. No, Owen wasn't present because Odin got himself in trouble. And today, Mitzi, she's out hunting, so she wasn't part of the read either. And so I was thinking about that. But these energies are trying to come after us, and they're causing us a lot of maybe reflection into our past. He was talking about himself going through, I could feel the energy off him with his disappointment with Odin. But I think that he was attaching that disappointment also to other aspects of his life from the past that he hadn't quite washed away yet, you know. And so even the familiar sometimes will kind of step into that light and maybe do things that are disapproving of us, so that we kind of go through and clean house a little bit, you know. And that's the energies that we've been working with right now, you know. And so thankfully, Mitzi's not misbehaving. She wasn't misbehaving. She's out rounding up them monitoring spirits right now and taking them out. That's what she's been doing, man. She was crunching on mice all night long, you know. And so Ian shared a little bit with what he was working on. I was proud of him for doing that. That's cool, you know. I honor that. That takes a lot of bravery. That's awesome. And so that could be one of those energies that I'm talking about over here, who has been in energy in the past where it's like, yeah, they shit their own. They were restroom token too. They shit in their own fucking place, right? And so, or others have treated them with restroom token energy where they just took a shit all over them, and they've carried that with them for a long time. And when certain things happen, that triggers in them certain responses, you know, that they know are not useful tools. That for them to clean their own bathroom, you know, like to keep their shit clean, right? And so Odin, bad boy for acting out, but good job for reminding Ian that he's in a position, because he's done his healing, to demand that everybody helps keep the restroom clean now, man, because that's what's happening. And so that's what's going on here with us, the chosen ones. We've had shit on us forever. We've been smeared shit. And it wasn't even other people's shit. That's, you know, it wasn't even our shit. It was other people's shit the entire time right now. But they've never had to take accountability. And so the world's kind of feeling quaking in its boots a little bit because they've been dumping on us. And it's been easy for them to rage bait us, to dump on us, to get us in a position where we take their shit on as our own. We take that stink on as our own, and we forget that our shit don't smell like that, you know? Like, in reality, our shit smells like roses, man. We're saints. And so that's what that energy represents right there. Whoever this other token is, if you identify with the energy that I'm speaking of, you know that you have a high divine calling on your light, and you know that you've had passages that have been blocked because of that calling that you have, and like you know damn good well, you know how to clean restroom and you can scrub tile and all that shit, right? And you ain't afraid of the stank of shit. You can recognize other shit from your own. Well, that's probably you in this token energy right here, this restroom token energy too. So stand in that light and be the one that makes sure to hold them accountable, you know. And that's the thing, you know. That's what we're working on right now. And so the other coin that came out here now, we have Games Unlimited, which is coming out right on top of the tarot, which is, I don't know, top of the deck is Games Unlimited, I guess, right now. And this is, it says Straw Nation, which I don't even understand what the hell that, Straw Hat Pizza, a Straw Hat Pizza, yeah, it's a Straw Hat Pizza, motherfuckers, you know. And so these are them fucking, these are them lowlives, you know, Games Unlimited. They're willing to do anything that they need to do, anything that they can't, they feel they need to do in order that they have to do in order to get into your bathroom and shit all over your floor. That's the Games Unlimited energy right here. That's the games that they like to play is that they with this Games Unlimited energy of Straw Hat Pizza, because that's them pizza party joint. That's some pizza parlor motherfuckers, man. And the games they play, see, they like to soil motherfuckers when they're in their youth and treat it like it's a game so that they get broke off. And then when they get older, they gotta spend so much fucking time trying to scrub their own floor and they can't get that stink off of there. Then the reason they can't remove it is because they don't got the proper tools to clean it, because like the stain that was put in their shit and their toilet that they're trying to demand right now is cleaned up over here. This restroom energy token that was put on their floor by the hands of the wicked motherfuckers who abused them and try to entrap them in this Games Unlimited energy with the at the Straw Hat Pizza joint, man. And so that's them pizza eating motherfuckers, you know. We talk about them here all the time, and they're over here trying to block me from communicating because they think, oh, well, fuck them. We're the ones that play games around here. That motherfucker's not going to pull no cards out here. We're going to block his ass and they're not going to be heard. But they're being shown that that's not the truth. Not the truth at all, you know. And they know intuitively, that's why they're coming out by the moon on top of the tarot deck, that they're caught up right now. They've been exposed. And they got the currency parking coin over there too. And so these pizza joint motherfuckers over here are trying to figure out how they're going to continue to get away with their shenanigans, because they sure as hell don't fucking think they got to clean any fucking bathrooms. They don't, you know, even though they are restroom token. Yeah. They hand out the restroom token to all their other restroom token fucking homies, so they go to do despicable fucking things in your private space. You know, they try to destroy you in your private space, right? Well, that's Games Unlimited to them. They thought this shit was gonna go forever and ever and ever and ever. They thought, oh hey, we got this one coin, we can play every game we fucking want. But now they're being courtesy parked because the currency that they've been using has been it's been deflated in value, you know, and everything that they've been buying is inflated in cost, you know, because these motherfuckers right here try to feed on the chosen ones, and we just got a fucking boost so fucking heavy duty, so fucking high that we're priceless now, and that's known by the entire world. They can't feed on us no more. They don't got enough coin in the whole world to fucking feed on us no more. And so now it's Games Limited. It's fucking game over. It's fucking this pizza joint's motherfucking closed. And a matter of fact, we just fucking banned pizza entirely because we don't like what you motherfuckers do in that pizza energy. Courtesy parked in their own fucking in their own shit, in their own misery. And this right here, coming out again, trying to hide over here in the fucking mushroom energy in the forest, you know, trying to pretend like they are a chosen one, is this karmic leader energy right here. You know, and this is somebody right here that's not what they say they are. but they're trying to hide out in the forest like they're one of us. They want to act like they're just a part of the group and everything, and that they got the fucking all the right ideas, you know, that without them, the gears can't turn. That's what they try to say. They're like, hey, without us, these gears can't turn. I'm your leader, you know. But this leader is drunk on their own foolishness. And these energies right here came out right exactly next to each other in the same spot on the read that I did last read that I posted. And so we all know what's in this Coke bottle because I shared on that message what was in that Coke bottle. And that's the stuff, that's the only stuff that this leader over here, this karmic leader, has. And it's fake bullshit. It's toxic bullshit. The sprockets and the nuts and bolts of the empire that they're running is just as feeble as this is. Because if you look, that's just like a little piece of shit. That ain't no fucking like really strong fucking iron fucking sprocket, man. That's just like that's something that is bound to break. And that's what this leader represents over here. This leader is coming out in their masculine energy right now. That's karmic masculine energy with this 1968 silver half dollar, or half dollar. It's not silver at all. The fucking one that was built in 1964 or prior to that are silver, and that would be our divine masculine energy. But this is a karmic masculine. And so this is a karmic masculine that represents the empire that is opposing God. You know, and so all the little minions that work for this this karmic leader right here, all of their little minions are the ones that this karmic leader keeps giving them restroom tokens to, saying, oh yeah, you go ahead over here, there's another chosen one, go shit on them, and then we're going to reward you by letting you swill on this bottle right here. You're going to let you swill off the contents of this bottle. But the thing is once you swill off that bottle, there's a genie in that bottle, and you can't put that genie back, and that genie is going to demand that you make sacrifices onto them always, and forget what your sacrifices are for God Most High. This coin right here is a fraud. This coin represents fraud. And so it represents fraud, and it represents the secret societies and the shadow government and the deep state that runs our world today. See, it's that coin right there, you know. They're the same ones right now that are trying to form coalition with the U.S. and with the European countries and everything to continue this war against Russia, actually, and trying to isolate the Russian people because they don't want to do business the same way that they do. That's them, you know. I mean, that's what it is, right? That's what World War II was all about, and now they're trying to start World War III, World War IV, depending on who you're talking to. And that's going to exacerbate this problem, you know, because they took a lot of these shadow heads, they moved them down into South America, into different places around the world, you know, and now they're creating governments, they're creating issues for us that are being, they're subversives. It's like they're not creating, but they're expanding on the original idea that was born of the heads of these motherfuckers that want to be controllers over everything. This is New World Order. And so New World Order, as we all know, is a fraud. That coin says that it's 999 fine gold, right? It ain't fine gold at all. There's no gold in that coin. It's a fraud. It's a total fraud. And that's the same goes for that Coke bottle. The thing is that Coke bottle, that's the shit that they're trying to spoon feed to you. That's their cheap ass shit. That's their like, they're toxifying foods. They're toxifying drugs and alcohol. They're mass media, social media, and all these ways that they're constantly tempting us to walk in the spirit of wrath, walk in the spirit of gluttony, walk in the spirit of vanity, walk in the spirit of hatred, you know? And because we're constantly being bombarded, they're just dumping these contents of this Coke bottle all over the entire world with their web that they've created right now, you know? And so we're at a crucial time because they're attacking us in ways that you can't see, hear, or feel. And if you can't see, hear, or feel, how do you know what way you can counterattack them, you know? And then if that's the way that they attack us, the chosen ones, because we're not willing to swill from this Coke bottle anymore, you know? When we're openly willing to swill from the Coke bottle, then you're volunteering to be a troop in their dark army because you're like, yeah, I'll drink your fucking shit. Fuck, let's do it, you know? And so with that, you volunteered, and so you've already attacked yourself, and you're willing to attack yourself because you'll take the very weapon that it is they're trying to kill you with, and you'll consume it as if it was medicine, you know. But the chosen ones, we know better than that, you know, and we're trying to teach this to the ones around us who don't, because we're tired of watching the people that we love. We're tired of watching everything that we love be destroyed because they lose control over themselves. They lose who they are within the contents of this Coke bottle, you know. They sacrifice everything to that genie, and then they just become a zombie-like being that's controlled by their desires and their lusts, you know. And that's why everybody is so radically distracted that they won't even speak out when this individual, our own government, assassinates this individual right in front of everybody, you know, and just such a horrible way, and just such a gory, nasty thing to do in front of everybody, just to contain and maintain their power and control. But they know that they've got everybody so addicted on the stupidity, the contents of them bottles, that they won't even speak out. They allow that to happen, and they're like, oh well, you know, as long as I keep alive, as long as I got my job, oh, I die without money. So as long as they got money, they don't think that they're gonna pay the same price that this motherfucker paid here. But that's not true, and they all need to realize that. Sure, that individual got shot as a young man and lost his life kind of violently like that in front of everybody, you know. But even if you die slowly from cancer, or if you die slowly from other things that are toxic that you're doing, or from your own emotional toxicity and stuff, then that's no different than him getting assassinated like that. It's all toxic shit, you know. And we need to be aware of that. We should always live long and prosperous lives, you know, and like God willing. And never should we have to worry about these sicknesses and these ills and these pains and these just such everything's so much disappointment, you know. And it's like that just feeds the low-lying entities and the dark spirits that we're surrounded in, and gives them more power, more ability to feed upon us, you know. And so when they pass you that Coke bottle, don't take a swill off it. You fucking say fuck you, man. We don't want nothing to do with that. Here we got karmic ancestors, the karmic ancestors, and you know, honestly, like this coin right here. This coin is this coin's from the Ottoman Empire. It's old, very very old coin. It's from like Turkey or whatever, you know, and it's telling me, you know, right now, because I mean, this is a 1,000-year war that we've been fighting, you know, it goes all the way back to then, you know, and it's like, but what this is telling me now is that, like, this is outdated, you know, it's outdated. It's outdated way of thinking. It's outdated way of trying to see anything and do business in our world any longer, and it needs to go away. It's like it's time for us to grow up. That's what's being exposed in the light of the sun, is the outdated ways of thinking that this cult is implementing upon us to try to hold us all back in a lower frequency vibration, you know, because we got to vibrate at a higher frequency if we want God to join in that tune, you know. If we want God to be like, hey, that sounds really good, I'm gonna fucking pipe in on that shit. Well, then we need to raise our vibration. But these people have been using ancient tactics. These individuals have been using ancient tactics. These principalities have been using ancient tactics for the longest time. They haven't adjusted how they build empire at all, not even since this coin was made. It's the same violence. It's the same bullshit. It's the same money that really doesn't have any value. Money doesn't represent nothing. It's useless, but people are killing each other over it. They're sacrificing to it. They treat it like a god. Well, that shit needs to change. That's what that coin's saying. That's why that's coming out right there in the light of the fire of God Most High, man. And so God's right now telling us that we have big changes coming. We have big changes coming. And those changes that are coming are going to be our concept of how we rule ourselves and how the world is ruled around us and what that means, you know. And so I think a lot of us are just gravitating towards a lifestyle that is more holistic and more guaranteed and ran by God Most High within the natural bounds that have been established by God Most High in their great creation, because they know that, you know. And so the ones that are listening are going in that direction, as the ones who refuse to listen are going closer and closer to technological destruction, AI destruction, you know. And they're not going to be able to find their way back because they're erasing all the data that they truly need. And that's the data that God has ingrained in us over eons of time, you know. I mean, they say that the human beings started using tools 20,000 years ago. That's if you believe science, you know. And so right now, with the technology, we have a lot of energies around us that are willing to sacrifice everything that we've learned over the last 27,000 year period or whatever, 27,000 year cycle. They want us to sacrifice that and move on and just trust that technology has got us, that AI has got us, that they're going to feed us, they're going to nurture our children, and they're going to make sure that we're strong, healthy, powerful, and in connection with God Most High, and fully aware of the cycles that God Most High operates in, you know. And so there's a great change coming. There really is. And the way that they want it to be with the technological shit and the AI and everything is not the way it's going to be. And that's what God says clearly right now. You know, it was the same outdated way of thinking that they militarized the world with, because these energies right here, this Ottoman coin with this cult coin right here, are how they have militarized the world. You know, that's how they control and dominate, is through their military inventions, which they then use for domestic use, which generally speaking is very detrimental to the environment around us, because they're at war with God, you know. And so now God is saying, we're not going to play this game no more. All right, Spirit. We got the tail. Check, make sure I push play on this thing, you know. Oh, yeah, we're cruising. Okay, cool. I can't ever remember. I get about halfway through a read, I'm like, oh no, man. Alright, Spirit. So what's up with these two, let's check in on these, on the bottom of the deck, you got the Fool card. So that's Spirit God saying, trust them, you know, walk in the path that they have given you. You're getting ready to start a brand new journey. And we all are getting ready to start a brand new journey. So that's the reset card. And so we've really just reset things. And now we're going to explode into the next phase of things, into the next journey that we're going to have here. And that's the, like in this Fool card, we've been through our journey already, through everything, the dark night of the soul, all the way to the end of it all. And so now we've been renewed and refreshed in a new energy to start over again and realize that we are magical, you know? And when we do, that's going to put us in a position where, in order to lead properly, we got to make it clear that now that we've reset everything, everybody needs to help keep the restroom clean. Straight up. You know, if you're going to be a roommate here, if you're going to be a part of this show, if you're going to go on this brand new journey, because now we all get an opportunity to fucking really start over again and do this shit right. Well, if you're going to get that fucking rolling, then, and you're walking that line, don't allow others to put that burden on you because they want shit all over everything. You know, be the fool, sure. Like, yeah, be the fool, but don't be a moron. Don't be stupid. You know, be a fool to God, and let God operate in your heart freely. And then God will bestow upon you the strength to walk in this responsible energy that makes sure to hold everybody's nose to the grindstone a little bit. Because if you're walking in the pure light of God, then you've passed the judgment of God, and they've called your name, and you know your name. And so now that you know your name, now that you have your name, God's asking you to wear that like your name tag on your uniform, you know, so that when the people who are fighting this battle with you, they need higher guidance or somebody that can lead them through, navigate them through the ability of gaining that strength to tell others around them, hey, man, don't be restroom token. Well, then they know who to call on because we wear our name now like a badge of honor. I think that's what God has given us, you know. And so, yeah, we're the fool. Yeah, we're the fool because the whole world thinks we look foolish. But the world that thinks we look foolish is not willing to reset. They want to keep plowing forward with the same negative shit that they've been plowing forward with fucking years and years and years and years. You know, it's like they want to keep trying to plow the same rocky fields when God's moving us over to better ground, you know, and that's gonna work really good for us. And so we just can't let that we gotta stand tall and keep our energies clean right now. Make sure you got your restroom clean. Help keep your restroom clean. First and foremost is what God's asking us. And so we gotta have a lot of clarity. We gotta have, you know, it's like, yeah, we're the fool. And you know, but with that clean slate also comes clarity, because the way we mess it up is when we make the wrong decisions after receiving that clean slate, and then we have to sort through the bullshit, our own bullshit. That's, you know, that's when we shit in our own fucking bathroom. That's when we're toilet token energy, and that's why we're coming out here with these two toilet token energies together side by side. And so this is a divine couple, right? It's divine pairing, right? And they right? And so this divine couple here is trying to, they're trying to clean up the mess that was made between them, I think, you know, because they've been a lot of negative influences that coming at these two chosen ones over here, trying to make them look like they're shitty from this, the pizza party motherfuckers over here, from Straw Hat Pizza, you know, Games Unlimited. They thought it was all fun and games to fuck with these two chosen ones over here, shitting on them, and then trying to make them look stupid because they're willing to accept the calling that God Most High has on their life and walk in that light and carry a big stick and be like, nah, motherfuckers, fucking fuck you. Quit shitting on me, you know? And so these two, they've been separated, though, by this Straw Hat Pizza energy over here that's now courtesy parked in their fucking head, because they're running out of good ideas to keep these two separated from each other. And when these two separate from each other, or when they come back together again, that's going to be a force that's going to be reckoned with, you know, and there's going to be great change that they're going to bring in. One of these coins is a little lighter than the other one, you can see, if that has significance. And so these two energies, and these could be your energies too, that you have inside your own space. It's like, this is your divine orb trying to clean house and trying to give strong recognition to both the feminine and to the masculine aspects that you carry. And so your feminine right now is asking the masculine to pitch in a little more and clean the restroom, keep the restroom clean, right? And the masculine, I think, is asking the feminine, is like, I think the masculine is doing so. And because I feel that these energies right here, both of them at a certain point got so fucking everything piled up against them, that it was a hard time for them to have a union where they could both together work unilaterally equally and keep that their restroom, their conjoined restroom. That's a divine coupling, you know. A divine coupling is two souls, is one soul but in two bodies, you know. And so when I shit in my nest, my divine partner has to sleep in that, you know, and vice versa. And so, like, right now, these energies, they're both sick and tired of shitting in their own nest, and they're really seeing how that when they do that, it's even worse, because it's like we share a nest, you know. We're one soul. You're one soul with your divine coupling, you know, with your divine partner. And so it's like, if you're both shitting in your own nest, but you share a nest, well, that nest fills up twice as fast as anybody else's nest around you, you know. And that's the truth when you're a divine couple, you know. And so that's why we get attacked so easily, because we're very powerful, you know. Because the same goes with our light. When we combine our light as a divine couple, then that light is recognized. It's seen. It's really a very powerful force, you know. And it brings great change to this world, you know. And so, unfortunately, the Games Unlimited, with that Straw Hat energy right there, they have been able to have major effects on these two chosen ones right here, because these chosen individuals have been kind of brought down into that restroom token energy, but we've been kind of cleaning the restroom, you know. Like, we've been in there pulling our gloves up, and we're kind of cleaning that energy up. And so we're kind of realizing now that there's been a lot of other people shitting in our making a mess out of our nest, that we or these two individuals here, you and your chosen divine couple that you've been struggling with, that you've been separated with right now, are starting to realize that even though a lot of the stuff that has been causing conflict in your relationship wasn't your shit in a lot of ways. It was kind of forced into your space by others, you know. You two are realizing, or we two, or us two, or whoever two, you know, right? And these two coins of these energies are recognizing that it doesn't matter who they try to blame. It doesn't matter. They can't find like an excuse for somebody to say, oh, well, I didn't do it, they did it. The best way for them to approach the situation now moving forward is when they take portion of, because like there's been conflict between these two energies because they can't really split the responsibility of cleaning the restroom because a lot of the shit in there is not either of theirs. It's been forced into their space. It's been forced into their divine space by others. But that shit stain is still in their space. It's that shit stain is still all over their floor. It's all over that shit makes both of them stink. It's in their nest, right? And so they've had a lot of conflict because it's like an argument of who's going to clean up this mess. It's like we got this big mess we got to clean up. But like they're so much a part of that mess that they can't really identify as their own, the divine masculine or the divine feminine, because like the divine masculine could see, well, yeah, that's my mess over there, and then the divine feminine it's like, yeah, when I got this mess over here. But then there's this big portion of mess where everybody's just been taking big shits on this couple, where they can't. They're trying to sort out now who what half to take, kind of. It's like, even though it's not their mess, other people have been doing it, and they've allowed those other people's in there. They've kind of done that stuff all mutually, and so it's not like it's just one divine feminine shit and one divine masculine shit. It's stuff that they've allowed other people to really interject into their coupling that needs to be cleaned up. And it's like they just need to find that common ground where it's like, okay, well, I got my little part of the mess cleaned up here, and he's got his little part of the mess cleaned up over there. So now we can rejoin our forces and tackle the bigger mess overall that we have to clean up. That was the mess that was brought in by motherfuckers who are trying to get in between us, in between you, And so, even though that's token or restroom token energy, that's a good energy to be in. It really is. And once you clean that mess up, then hopefully you guys will shine again, and you'll know what you have together, and you'll really be grateful for that divine space that you have, and you'll keep it shining bright as can be. You don't just let anybody use your toilet no more. You don't let just anybody unload on you emotionally anymore, or your partner either. You stand up for each other and everything, and you do that, making sure you watch each other's back. You clean up after each other and everything, and you make sure that your space is always shining. And so when Spirit God Most High stops by and says, "Hey, I really gotta use the bathroom," you're not ashamed of that. You're like, "Hey, fuck yeah, go in there." And fuck God Most High is like, "Fuck, he's in there for an hour and a half, man." You sit there on their fucking doing their YouTube channel and shit. 'Cause they don't get so comfortable in your clean ass space. They want to hang out. And so, good work, chosen ones. It's been a long struggle. It's gonna be one day at a time. The mess ain't cleaned up, but we're cleaning it up, and there's potential for joy, and that's really good. Nine of Swords. You see that Nine of Swords? That represents the shit that they've been taking on our floors, And so these this is that restroom token coin energy with the Nine of Swords. But that Nine of Swords, it tells me that our sleepless nights are over, like that like the things that we've been stressing out about have again, we're stressed out because we know God Most High is going to be showing up, and God Most High is going to want to use the toilet and all this stuff. But at the same time, we've had a lot of influences that have been causing us to not have our space as we want it for when God Most High shows up, and that's been it's been frustrating us, and it's been slowing our roll to having that higher connection, And so it's like one of these the toilet token energies over here that help keep the restroom clean. They've been stressed out about this. They've been worried about this, And so the individual who's in that energy may have just more awareness of what is coming, or maybe just a little bit more that they had to clean up. Maybe there's a little bit more of past for this individual or whatever, And so they've been kind of feeling a little overwhelmed because things haven't gone right for them, and they've allowed so many people to shit on their restroom floor that they're having a hard time identifying whose shit is theirs and whose shit's everybody else's even. And so this energy has been really stressed out. But that's, I think, maybe too a more mature energy, because I get the vibe off this energy that this individual here, this toilet token right here, they don't want to go to that 10th sword with this. They really want to sort this shit out. They want to clean it up. They're tired of stabbing themselves in the back. And so they're awake at night in that Nine of Swords energy, trying to figure out or figuring out how they're going to move forward in life now and not receive that 10th sword. They're not going to stab themselves in their back. They're going to clean up after themselves. They're very on board. They don't mind, you know. That's not a horrible, stressful energy. That's waking up, rubbing the eyes, the sleep out of our eyes, right? And realizing that the nine swords that have been wielded against us are now going to be the most fierce tools that we have to get in there and solve these problems. We're going to start cutting, and we're gonna start cleaning, and we're gonna start cutting, you know. And so like a good floor cleaner, you know, it cuts grease, it cuts through the garbage, cuts through the filth, you know. And that's what them swords right there are. That's your mop bucket, that's your scrub brush, that's your spray bottle, you know. That's your lemon juice and your vinegar and like your essential oils and all your baking soda and your salt and all your things that you're using to clean that. Some bleach, you know. I mean, we're probably gonna need some bleach on this stuff here. We could use that soft shit once we get it all cleaned up, but we're probably gonna need some bleach to clean this shit up. Maybe that's what this energy's a little stressed out about too, you know. It's like fuck, man. But don't worry, you know. That's what this energy's telling you is don't worry because you're well equipped. You're well equipped to clean up that mess, you know. And you've been waiting on your counterpart to show up, you know, and be there with you, you know. And so they're trying to. They've offered you a pinnacle, and to a lot of people that are watching, or to the individuals that don't know any better, they might think that that's not much. And if you were blinded in this Nine of Swords energy, you wouldn't see what they're trying to offer you, you know. But Spirit's asking that you do because you need help. You didn't make the mess by yourself, but you're willing to take a large portion of it with those nine swords. You're like, okay, well, I can take the nine swords, but if I can get my counterpart over here and they offer me just a little bit here, then we can make this ball move in the right direction. We can get some movement around here. And so that's why the Knight of Pentacles is coming out, because your counterpart, you know, is feeling. I don't think that they carry the swords like you carry. You know, your counterpart is is learning, you know, through you how people can be, you know, how they could take their swords up against you in those nine swords, and they're starting to understand why you have been in such a stressful state, you know, that maybe made them fearful, and make them feel like they can't really move forward in the union because they didn't know how to go up against those nine swords. They're afraid that those nine swords were going to cut them down, you know. But that energy now is slowly trying to turn around. It's a younger energy with this night energy. And so maybe they just haven't had the experiences in life that you have had, because you've been through a lot, you know, and that's obvious in that energy right there, you know. You've been through a lot in your houses of, that's the intellect, you know. And so it's like, people have attacked your headspace, your heart, your headspace. You know, it made you feel crazy because of the things that you know. You know a lot of things. There's a lot of knowledge in those seven swords. You know, and like you know that now how to allow Father God to control those swords so that people don't have to be fearful when they're trying to love you. And that's going to come in for you. It's not going to come in fast. It's not going to come in fast for us, but it is definitely coming in. This Knight of Pentacles is really wanting to turn they're armored now. See, they got their suit of armor and they're pointed towards you. They see you. They do see you, you know, and they're looking straight at you. They're like, hey, yeah, man, we kind of both look like restroom tokens right here, you know, but I want to offer you something. I don't know that I have a whole lot to offer you, but I see that you have been through a whole lot, and in that being through a whole lot, you don't have to wear armor. You could be exposed like you are, but I understand now that you're protected by God Most High, and I really adore that and I admire that. But I'm feeling like I gotta protect myself a little bit because I haven't been coming at you fast enough to help clean this mess up, and that's been really hard for you, you know. And they see that. That's what your partner sees. That's what your divine partner sees. Even if this isn't an individual that is in your life right now, our energies are so strong right now as the chosen ones that somebody or that you've been waiting on, that you're hoping to hear from, that you're looking for support from, that if they could give you some support, that would really change the position that you're in right now. It would help clear your mind of the thoughts that you're having that are causing you grief. Then that energy is turning around, you know, and don't be discouraged because they're going to kind of keep that armor up a little bit, you know. They're kind of keeping themselves concealed with that mask and everything, you know. just see that they're handing you something. They have their hand out there, and that is an offer of kindness. It's a good gesture, you know, because this card came out in the upright position. And so hang in there. Stay true to the cause. Stay true to what you know that you love, because I think that this Knight of Pentacles is definitely one of these swords over here. And that sword, it's going to be a very powerful tool for you when this relationship is mended and healed. You know, it's just it's going to take a little bit of time, and that's okay. God gives us nothing but time, you know, and we don't mind hard work, and so that's good. And we gotta be aware, because look, man, like this King of Wands in the reverse, you know, and that King of Wands in the reverse, that's the energy tugging on the Knight of Pentacles here. And that's kind of like why they have their armor on right now, because they don't really trust the world, you know. They don't. They know that their inability to trust the world, and that by them keeping themselves in that suit of armor has made them kind of... it's like they don't trust the world, but they've been tempted by this King of Wands energy in the reverse. So the world has been trying, like they've had to protect themselves from this King of Wands in the reverse in the world, because the world treats this individual in a way where they have been objectified. They've been, what do they call that? When you make somebody objectified. Yeah, objectified. They've been objectified. They've turned into an object, you know? And so they've had to wear a big suit of armor that has caused them to not trust their chosen one that they love, right? Initially, because that suit of armor, they've worn it their whole life, and that's what's caused the chosen one to feel like their chosen one, their divine couple, to feel like they can't see them, you know. And so it's like they know that they're a sword of theirs, that there's something that they want to protect and save, but the chosen divine counterpart here in this energy right here, so it's like the older energy of these two energies, has tried to be very vulnerable, even though they have all the swords. And they're like, no, I can turn my back to you, and I can be vulnerable, I can be exposed, laying in my bed, and I'm half clothed, you know. And so they're waiting for an offer to come in from this Knight of Pentacles energy without the armor on, without the suit of armor. And that's the only thing really that needs to happen, because the temptation, or the suit of armor went on to hide themselves from this King of Wands. But this Knight of Pentacles is afraid to take that suit of armor off, because they're not sure that they can protect themselves from the world that's around them today, because the world is just so filled with the lust and temptation and all this horrible shit, you know? And so the world's holding this Knight of Pentacles back from removing their armor because of the King of Wands energy that rules our world. The Knight of Pentacles doesn't know if they're safe in this world to expose themselves. But that keeps that suit of armor on when they're trying to offer a pinnacle of love. They're trying to offer a pinnacle of stability to their divine counterpart, who's just only asking them to be vulnerable with them, you know? And so that does make sense to the high one here. Yeah, because they understand. They understand a lot. They got 9 swords. They think about shit. You can tell right there. They're up all night thinking about this. And so they know that that's the truth. But now it's just a matter of coaxing the Knight of Pentacles out of that armor, you know, so that their offer can be received, you know, freely by this one over here. That's confirmation. See, the one restroom token right here is seeing these knights here, these two knight energies as their equal. They're younger, but they've been through a lot together, and so all that this nine of swords right here needs is for this Knight of Pentacles to at least just open up their mask a little bit, you know, and just soften their stance. And like that Pentacle, like the Nine of Swords, doesn't stress about pinnacle. They're stressed just about emotional fulfillment. They want that emotional fulfillment. They want emotionally to be able to trust each other, you know. And so that's why the Knight of Cups here has their hood up a little bit, you know. They're trying to see things more eye to eye. So that's good. That's good energy, you know. That's good energy. Even though the restroom token energy is good energy. Yeah, exactly. See, because the Games Unlimited, right? That's that Knight of Wands in the reverse. The games that they've been playing with the head of this Knight of Pentacles, who's trying so hard to come out of their protective space and try to move things along and lubricate the connection that they have with their divine chosen one, is been influenced by this Games Unlimited with this Knight of Wands in the reverse energy, which is like nasty energy, you know. And so Games Unlimited over here, they're trying to, the Straw Hat Pizza is trying to tell this Knight of Wands that the wisdom that they know that they gain from their experience of being in a coupling with this Nine of Swords, they're feeling kind of like the Knight of Wands, that they're coming off looking like that Knight of Wands to their counterpart a little bit, um, because the world's trying to tell them to basically go about getting what they want out of this world, utilizing what's between their legs. That's what the Knight of Wands is. That's how the Knight of Wands thinks, you know? Or just trying to get things out of this world because it gratifies what's between their legs, you know? And so that's a negative energy to be in. And that's the energy of that Games Unlimited. That's the energy of the Straw Hat Pizza joint, because that's where them motherfuckers hang out, you know? And so they're willing to even sell their own children into like horrible stuff, you know? That's what they do, you know? Like they're crazy like that. And they, because that's how they were treated as children too. And so the whole culture nowadays is driven by this Knight of Wands energy, with the promiscuity, with the dating apps, with the rampant drug abuse, with the rampant sexual abuse, with the rampant acceptance of sexual abuse. That's what the Knight of Wands is, you know. Knight of Wands in the reverse is a sexual abuser. It's an individual who's abused as a child, and so now they abuse as an adult. That's why the King of Wands came out in the reverse on the bottom of the deck, you know. But God's again giving us the Fool here on the bottom of the deck, freeing us from this energy. So that Knight of Pentacles has been felt trapped in that Knight of Wands energy because they were bound by it. Because as a child, they were courtesy parked, and that Page of Pentacles energy over here in their own fucking head, not sure what to do, not sure if they were going to be well received by anybody in this world in a way that would give them honor and that would help them graduate to become a Knight of Pentacles and actually guard themselves and armor themselves against the attacks that they've been suffering from the Knight of Wands energy and that King of Wands, you know? And so this Page of Pentacles in the reverse has been reduced by the nastiness. So it's like this Knight of Wands in the reverse with this Games Unlimited energy, they thought it was okay for them to just go fucking use the toilet whatever they wanted over there in that Page of Pentacles space and all over that Page of Pentacles. And that caused that Page of Pentacles to fucking go in the reverse. It feel like they didn't have nothing to offer to the world, or that the world had nothing to offer to them. But this Page of Pentacles over here in the reverse is powerful, motherfucker, you know? And so, yeah, sure, they got courtesy parked over there, but while they sat there in that time where they were processing their emotions and processing their intuition and learning how to move, even though they've been totally slighted by this Games Unlimited energy, what they did in that time was they did suit themselves up. And that's where this suit of armor comes from. But that's how they turned themselves into the Knight of Pentacles, you know? And so that suit of armor, see, it's that suit of armor that's like part of the problem, though, you know? Because that suit of armor was put on that Page of Pentacles and it cost them their innocence because of the damage done by this Knight of Wands with that King of Wands energy too, you know, and the Games Unlimited. So they played unlimited games with this individual. This individual wised up, armored themselves, but now they've been trying to offer themselves to this counterpart that they have, because this is both two restroom tokens that help keep our restroom clean, because they really want to get out there and clean this mess up upon the whole world that's caused them to be so guarded. But what they're realizing is that the armor that they wear is what's caused the Nine of Swords over here, their counterpart, to kind of like not be sure if they could trust the offer that they're making them. It's like they got their back turned to them, so they're not necessarily defending them, but they're struggling with the energy of accepting the truth. They're not looking for financial stability out of this Knight of Pentacles. They want a cup of love, and they want to see it more. They want to, it's like even with these two knights here, the cup of love is not this knight. He doesn't show a whole lot more of his face, but he shows a little bit more. He sits in a different posture. The armor that he wears, it looks like it's made out of light material. It's not made out of a heavy material that's going to slow them down and weight them down. He's got wings on his feet. If you look on his foot there, he has wings. So this individual has now lightened their load. And that's what this Nine of Pentacles energy with this restroom token needs more than anything. They need the light to have a lighter approach on them from the Knight of Pentacles here to come at them with that Knight of Cups, the lighter approach that doesn't come off too heavy, because this energy can't handle more stress. They need things to lighten the fuck up, in order to get out of that bed, get dressed, suit up, because see, the Knight of Pentacles is suited up. They know how to protect themselves. They know how to clean their fucking shit. They know how to go into war. And so this individual right here just needs to now see the love that's coming in and know it's worth fighting for, and they'll get their ass out of bed in the morning, and they're going to lead again. They'll be able to lead again. And when they do lead, then that Knight of Pentacles is going to follow them. They're going to work well together with that, These are good energies. These two energies right here, these restroom tokens, are here to clean up the mess, to help keep our restroom clean. These are righteous individuals. These are individuals who have a righteous calling on their life, and they're going to be fully supported by God Most High. They got that Ten of Pentacles coming in. And so these two are going to have everything they need to get any kind of cleaning product they need that's going to cut through that fucking grease and get that job done, And God's so God's going to step in here and finance these two so they don't have to worry no more. This one doesn't have to stress out because they've been willing to walk the path with God Most High, and so that makes it sometimes that can make your financial abundance not as abundant, but that's not what you're here for, But that could be stressful, and that can allow this individual here who's stressful receive from this Page of Pentacles, because this Page of Pentacles is going to know that they have a lot to offer, or this Knight of Pentacles, they know that they've grown, they've matured, they've accepted that they've been getting shit on, and they really want to clean up that mess, and they're just offering that as a cup of love to the Nine of Swords over here, because then that Nine of Swords is going to feel hopefully a little bit more relieved, and that's going to motivate them. They're going to want to get back on that thing, they want to get out there, because they're going to see the Ten of Pentacles is definitely coming to them, because that's these sprockets right here, God knows that in order for these two to stand up against that Coke bottle and that karmic ass energy over here with the cult, that they're going to need that shit to put it together, It's like God doesn't worship money, and God despises those who do, but God understands that right now the world is poisoned by money and their desire for money, and they think that without the Ten of Pentacles that they can't do shit, and they're right. But what they don't understand is that the Ten of Pentacles doesn't have anything to do with fucking money. It has to do with God's abundance. And when you understand that, those wheels start to spin and those gears start to turn, and then the shit starts to happen and change starts to roll in, And this karmic energy is going to sit there on their ass and swill on that Coke bottle. Well, yep, they're going to sit on their ass and they're going to swill on that Coke bottle. And they're going to have their fucking feelings hurt, because that Ten of Pentacles used to be theirs. And so God just took away from them that which was theirs, because they lied. They devalued their own coin when they blew the head off of this motherfucker and started to print this shit on scrap metal. It used to be silver prior to that. We used to have something to stand for and believe in. You used to have something that really backed your fucking dollars and it made sense, right? Not anymore. These emotionally deranged motherfuckers out here thought they could rule the world that way, you know? They really did. And they're so emotionally deranged that they thought they could put us all in a state of fear and then fucking give us fucking pop metal for fucking currency and fucking feed us on fucking lies and fucking Twinkies and Wonder Bread and fucking sugar and fucking genetically modified and fucking Roundup and on fucking plastic and on fucking TV, on fucking Hollywood, on fucking toxic music, on fucking toxic pornography, on fucking toxicity, on fucking hatred, on fucking greed, on fucking every fucking motherfucking thing that they cram in this fucking bottle right here. Because you read the ingredients list on this bottle right here, and it's a long, motherfucking disgusting ass fucking list of ingredients that this bottle contains. And they've been swilling on it a long fucking time. They think it's succulent, you know? And that's coming to an end right now. They can no longer get their kicks out here on Route 66 and their sick ass fucking way that they like to play, man. And that's just what it is. The game's changing now. The whole world knows that the fucking ten of fucking Pentacles lies, and these fucking gears and these sprockets and these nuts and bolts and this stuff that God uses to create their empire with. And you understand that. You know that the Ten of Pentacles can never be used to pay for or to compensate for the contents of that Coke bottle. God's blessed you. God's blessed you, and you're the one now who has mended your wounds, and you've healed your wounds, and you're moving on to the next phase of this battle, and that King of Cups is going to get turned right on their fucking head, and all the contents of their pockets are going to spill on the floor, and then that's how we're going to fund the next move of this revolution, you know? And that's what's happening here. We're going to smash that Coke bottle and take their loot. And the cult is going to sit here. So we got the Emperor. We got Emperor energy here. And then these three right here came out together. We got the Four Swords in the reverse, the Lovers in the reverse, and the Two of Cups in the reverse. And those energies are the results of our consumption of the contents of that Coke bottle, you know, like that's what's been going on here. That's where the Knight of Wands catches up the Page of Pentacles, because they offer them a little bit, you know, of what they got in that bottle. And the Page of Pentacles is young, they're inexperienced, they haven't been through life and everything like that, and because they're a page, and so they're like, oh, okay, yeah, man. They take a little sip, you know, and then that's how it starts. That's the slippery slope. But the problem is that the dysfunctional contents of that bottle lead us to become delusional, you know, and God doesn't hear our prayers no more when we're swilling on that bottle, and that gets in the way of our divine union and our Two of Cups, you know, or with the Lovers card here in the reverse and the Two of Cups in the reverse with Four Swords in the reverse, because of that Four Swords in the reverse energy, we're praying to God, but kind of sitting on our ass and not listening to God. And when we're in that energy, that's when we really make a mess out of our own space. And it's impossible to have a Two of Cups energy or the Lovers energy on earth in the upright position if we're not properly listening to God when we pray to them. There's no point to pray to God and not listen to God, you know? And that's kind of why this, as the cult with the Coke bottle, these energies coming out with the Coke bottle and the cult here. See, that cult's coming out with the Emperor energy, but in the upright position. But this Emperor right here leads with a strong arm and a strong fist is what I'm thinking that this is trying to say, you know? And so what God is trying to tell the cult in this energy, in this Emperor energy, this is God telling the cult, I'm coming for you motherfuckers now. That's what that is. That's what that is, you know? And so when God comes out and read like that as the Emperor in their masculine energy, they're getting ready to clean house, you know, is what that is, because they're not into it, you know, they're not down they're sick and tired of watching they love their Page of Pentacles, you know, and they're sick and tired of having to kind of like block Page of Pentacles to keeping them in this courtesy parking over here. And then the best at the Page of Pentacles, you know, they want the Page of Pentacles to know that they could trust their counterpart, you know, because they really want this union to come through. But yeah, God is coming out here as this emperor and putting this emperor's fucking boot right on the neck of this cult that has been controlling things behind the scene and spilling the contents of that Coke bottle all over the fucking world so that everybody haphazardly gets it in their fucking guts. They don't even realize they're actually drinking it, you know? And so God's sick and tired of that. God has to say, nah, it's my empire, motherfuckers. Sit the fuck down. We're not going to do this again. You know, you're harming my chosen ones, and I don't appreciate that. I really don't. God Most High shares a divine union with us. God Most High is our lover with us. God Most High is our Two of Cups. And so if these individuals right here with this cult energy are trying to get in between us and our Two of Cups, they're trying to get it between us and God. And like, if they try to get in between us and our lover, they're trying to get it between God and us. And God, as this emperor energy, says, nah, daddy ain't having that shit no more. Says daddy's here now, and there's got to be a new fucking rules, you know? Daddy's here now, and my fucking chosen ones don't have to ask you to help keep the restroom clean, because daddy God says that if you don't keep the restroom clean, then it's going to be my boot stuck up your ass, motherfucker. And God loves everybody, you know. Even these cult motherfuckers, God loves them. Honestly, believe it or not, you know. I mean, God does. God loves everything. God created everything for a reason, so everything serves a purpose to God. But at the same time, when God says something like that, you listen. What's up with this old empire coin here that Emperor stands over? There's a new emperor in town. We're all going to walk away from this old way of doing things. That's what this is. This represents the old empire. This is the old empire. This is God as the new emperor standing on the necks of the cult that's been controlling everything using these old empire techniques, these old empire tactics, right? God's saying, fuck that shit. Walk away from that shit because their currency is no longer good. And when you do, when you walk away from that stuff, those are those 8 cups, you know. Those are the 8 cups that they swill on over there at that pizza place, man. Those are the 8 cups they put on the fucking table with their pizza that has walnuts on it and fucking hot dogs, right? Well, yeah, that's weird fucking sounding pizza, right? Well, you think that's weird? Imagine what they're swilling in them fucking cups. And so they're over here swilling in them fucking cups because that's what they've been convinced to do by this karmic energy up here with that Coke bottle with the cult, you know? Because in the Knight of Wands is the one that sows the temptation to the fucking Page of Pentacles, who's trying to learn how to be a righteous chosen one and have union with their divine counterpart over here. Offer them that cup that Knight of Cups has, you know? Take them out of this stressed out fucking energy. But because of all the contamination, all the pollutants, all the toxins and everything that they've been fucking pouring in them cups that they serve at that pizza joint, that Page of Pentacles over there has armed themselves, you know, and they need to learn to soften right now. And so what Spirit's saying is, and I think that this Knight of Pentacles has and is prepared to continue to walk away from the old ways of doing things, and that's going to help them lift that veil a little bit and make their intentions more clear, so that you, the chosen one that has got a lot on your head, everything, that's trying your hardest, that's been through it, you know, that's been really fucking through it, that's been waiting, can relax a little bit, because your energy is having the same effect on your Knight of Pentacles here. Because like in that stressed out energy where you're so worried about everything, it makes them feel like they got to protect themselves from you, because it kind of lowers their frequency a little bit, and they want to be on a lighter vibe in this Knight of Cups. See, they really want to be on that lighter vibe, and that energy is right behind them. And so once this is all kind of cleaned up like that, you know, then the that Knight of Pentacles is gonna happily walk away from them 8 cups that are not fulfilling them, you know, and they're gonna come to you, chosen one. Good work, you know. And that tells me that, yeah, you've had many sleepless nights about this. You know, you love this Knight of Pentacles a lot. and it's gonna and it's been very painful for you to watch them be tempted by this Knight of Wands, you know, and you're very fearful that that Page of Pentacles, that King of Wands is gonna get their hands on them and really fuck them up, man. And that didn't happen. They protected themselves, and so that's a beautiful thing, you know. They protected themselves because they listened to you. Right now, they're trying to find the strength to admit that to themselves and share that with you, you know, because they want to move forward. They know you protected them. They know you have, you know. They know that your wisdom, that the things that you worry about, even though it's annoying and it's made them feel really uncomfortable at times, that the knowledge was there, the truth was there. You weren't trying to fucking beat them down. You're trying to fucking build them up, and you're trying to give them the strength by knowing that they need to survive this Knight of Wands temptation and avoid that King of Wands in the reverse temptation and free themselves from that Page of Pentacles in the reverse situation where they've had themselves courtesy park and were holding themselves back from growing, because that's all that's being asked here from this Knight of fucking Swords is that they learn. And they learn the same lessons that this individual has learned, you know, because swords are lessons. Swords are lessons, you know? And like, you know, it's probably good that that page, because like that Knight of Cups is not coming in fully unarmed, you know? And so that will tell me that when that Knight of Cups does loosen up a little bit, it softens up a little bit, lightens up a little bit on this Nine of Pentacles over here, that they are going to learn how to spar with this older energy, with this energy and this Nine of Swords, you know? So it's like they're still protected now, but they're not protected in a way that's going to be excluding the other individual. They're more willing. They're willing to move with them and to learn from them, you know, and to trust what it is that they're offering them, because they can now have their cup out there and ask and say, hey, go ahead, pour me a glass. I see what you're swilling on. I know you got the tea, so please pour me a little bit of that, you know. Yeah, I can see there's been a lot of doubt, you know, on this on both of them, you know. There was some lies told here with this Seven of Swords right here. There's been some lies told, you know, and like it was kind of childish, you know. Says, ha ha ha, did he just say he loves me? With the Jack of Cups coming out here, right? And so, and then with the Seven of Swords, they know it was your dumbass. And so there was some things that were done here that need to be acknowledged by this Knight of Pentacles in order to get this Knight of Swords over here to turn their back, to turn around and face them and not feel like they're so hurt still, you know? And so they're both very guarded, but they're very guarded because there was some things that were said that were not truthful. But it's not like they were horrible lies, because it was so obvious for the Knight of Swords right here to figure it out. That's what the swords do, you know. They're intellectual. They think about shit. They think about shit. And so this Nine of Swords, it thought about the Seven of Swords that was being told to them. And they knew it was your dumbass anyways. They knew better. They're like, man, come on. I've been around, so it's like I know the truth here. And dumbass, you know. So it's like they're not really like feeling lied to, and this you know, a real true lie against them right now could possibly be that last sword, you know, that really fucking took them out. But that's not what's happening here in this energy. They're knowing that like the lies that were told were lies that were told, but like this Jack of Cups over here at the time was not taking the connection very seriously. This says, ha 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 ha, did he just say he loves me? And it's like, well, yeah, he did. But if you look here, this this restroom token here, the darker of the two, is leading in these younger energies, but the Pentacle is leading first. And so they're looking at things materialistically, and that's kind of devalued their ability to see things in a way that emotionally, or to present themselves in a way emotionally that could be received by this nine of fucking swords energy right here, and the lighter toned of the restroom tokens, you know. And so this nine of swords hasn't been really trusting, because the youth of this, because you got to remember, this Knight of Pentacles is simply this Page of Pentacles over here, who's courtesy part, but in armor now, in the upright position, right? And so the lies that they told are part of that armor that they wear, because they had to tell those lies to protect themselves from this Knight of Wands energy when they were trying to tempt them over to be taken advantage of by the fucking King of Wands in the reverse, you know? Because if King of Wands, if Knight of Wands is in the reverse, then that means that their daddy, the King of Wands, would be in the reverse too, you know? It's seldom that a Nine of Wands in the upright position comes out of the King of Wands in the reverse, you know? That's just what that is. That's ancestral trauma. And that's the shit that we're trying to fucking heal right now. But this Knight of Pentacles had to tell some lies to keep their ass safe growing up, you know. And that's what that armor is. Those lies are that armor, and then that's what's been keeping them with keeping things kind of transactional, instead of fucking going into this Knight of Cups energy, which would be really good if they would go into that energy right now, because that's what the Nine of Swords over here, their counterpart, is really trying to trust. But they're having a hard time, because they're like, well, I don't know, man, I can't take you seriously because you lied to me, you know, and that's the problem. But like I said, it's not a big problem, because like the Seven of Swords energy is like it's already known that they're lying. It's not a secret, really. It's just it's a lie. It's like it's childish. It's making things up, where it's kind of like, oh, come on, man, let's just do things a little differently here. And that's kind of what this Nine of Swords is like, hoping that the Knight of Pentacles will let that chink in their armor be seen, kind of, you know? Because it's like a chink in their armor. It's like they're an honest person who lies to kind of protect themselves, you know? But they're an honest person. They don't like it that they do that. That's a chink in their armor. And when this Nine of Swords energy here, this individual gets their foot in the door there, or gets in there, well, they can kind of peel those layers back a little bit, and then work together to clean up the restroom, clean up the mess that they've not just the mess that they've made in their life, but the mess that's been made out of their lives too, because of third-party involvement. And that's what that Knight of Wands in the reverse is. And third-party involvement, that could be a lot of things. You know, third-party involvement, that doesn't mean anything that there's another person involved. That's spiritual energy, you know. And so, with the Knight of Wands, it's too stupid to feel God's blessings with the Four Cups, you know? And it's like, that's Four Cups in the reverse, you know? And so this Knight of Wands has been offering the offerings that they made to this Page of Pentacles. It was the contents of that Coke bottle right there, you know? And so it was not a blessing, you know? Like the Page of Pentacles, because they're a Page of Pentacles, they felt like they had very little. They were tempted, because the Knight of Wands came out them with 3 cups. But the Knight of Wands had the 3 cups, but was trying to block the 4th cup in that 4 of Cups from this Page of Pentacles, because they knew if they distracted them with the 3 cups that was already filled with swill that just should be kicked over, then they could distract them with them 3 cups, and then they could snatch that 4th cup right out of their fucking hands, you know, the one that God's offering them. And it's been hard for the Page of Pentacles. It was really hard for that Page of Pentacles. They had to go deep within their intuition and courtesy park, even themselves, to figure the fuck out that the whole fucking world's been lying to them and trying to stand in the way of them receiving that cup that God's trying to offer them out of the ethers, you know? We have the King of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and that's God's giving us clarity that says, I'll never tell a lie. And so that's full confirmation that that is the truth. Yeah, it's this Jack of Cups here. It's coming out on the Nine of Swords. That's where it's going, and it's saying, "Why do you always cry about it?" And so that energy is the energy that's being spoken onto this Nine of Swords by this Knight of Pentacles right here from their guarded position, because they haven't been through. They don't have those 9 swords. If you look, 2 of them swords go right through the back, and the other one's right to the head of this individual. And so this energy here, they've been through way more than this Knight of Pentacles has. A lot more than the Knight of Pentacles has. And so the Knight of Pentacles has been a little petty in the lies that they've been telling. And that's why with their cup over here, with their Knight of Cups energy, they're coming out like twice, right, as a Knight of Cups. But it's like, ha 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 ha. Did he just say he loves me? And it's because they were kind of like not reciprocating back to this Knight of Swords right here, who's trying to really give their all, because they're like, hey man, this is my last go at this shit. I can't take another sword. And so the Page of Pentacles, or Knight of Pentacles, is looking at this stressed out energy over here in the Nine of Swords, kind of like, well, why do you always cry about it, you know? But they haven't been hurt the same way that the Nine of Swords has been hurt. And that's the Three of, that's the Jack of, or the Knight of Cups down, of Hearts. That's come out now 3 times right here on those two, you know. So there's a lot of love here, man. There's a lot of love here, but with these two, but it's growing, you know, and that's fine. That's good. It's in a, it's good, you know. It's just young. It's still growing, you know. It's like I think there's been a lot of mistakes made. There's been mistakes made on both parts. That's why they got this restroom to clean up, this mess that they got to clean up. So it's like, yeah, there's love here, but there's a mess to be cleaned up, you know. And this Page of Pentacles up here, they put themselves over there in that courtesy parking energy and that timeout energy, because that Page of Pentacles knows that the Knight of Wands is fucking heartless, and they're trying to sacrifice them to their reverse father, you know, to that Knight of Wands and the King of Wands in the reverse. And they're starting to realize too that it doesn't make them heartless to turn their back on that shit, and that's why they put that armor on, you know, and because they were feeling a little bit like everything they've been dealing with was heartless and trying to break them the fuck off, and everybody was trying to use them. And that's true, because they were trying to distract them with fucking toxicity in order to harvest off of them the abundance that God has in store for them, you know. And that's why God plucked them out of that courtesy parking energy and says, no, we're going to fucking protect you here. We're going to restore you here. We're going to teach you how to love, and we're going to forgive you for the lies or whatever that was told, and help you reconnect back here with this individual who's really in their head about you. They love you so fucking much, you know. A lot of love there. Because God's saying, Page of Pentacles, you can't go work for that Knight of Wands. You can't go work for that King of Wands in the reverse, because I hired you. It says, if God hired me, then who's going to fire me? And so God says, no, we have a celebration in store for you, Page of Pentacles. Suit up. Fucking get out there on the road. Fucking present yourself. Hey, help your divine feminine over here stress down a little bit. And then, and you'll see things turn around, you know. If God hired you, who's going to fire you? You're here to take down an empire of toxicity, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. You got a divine counterpart who is more than willing. They're stressed the fuck out. It's the only thing they want to fucking do with their life is to fucking fight the beast, you know, to destroy the beast with you. With you. They love you. God, all these knights out here. So much knight energy right here. So much knight energy, man. It's coming out up here with this King of Cups in the reverse. As I told you, it was fun, you know? And like, that energy, they're liars, you know? The King of Cups in the reverse is a liar. They don't give a fuck how it affects you emotionally. Oh, no. You know what? Actually, yeah, no. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about how it affects you emotionally as long as they're having fun, you know? And so they try to stand in your way of receiving this Ten of Pentacles over here by blocking your connection with Spirit God Most High, by distracting you with all the distorted fucking bullshit that they keep in their little Coke bottle that they're fucking addicted to. And so they try to get their addictions into your cup and poison your reality, shit stain your fucking bathroom, break your connection with your divine counterpart, and leave you kind of feeling trapped in a world where you can't protect yourself with anything other than lies. So this want to make you out to be a fucking liar, man. And that's fucking bullshit, you know? And this fucking Knight of Wands energy is coming out with the karmic leader's energy over here who was assassinated. And so, yeah, they told him it was going to be fun, and look how that worked out for him. They turned him into this Knight of Wands in the reverse over here with Games Unlimited. They took his ass down with that Coke bottle. With that Colt. The Colt's the one that fills that Coke bottle with all that evil fucking shit that dilutes our fucking ability to stand in our righteous light. And that's what they're trying to do to this fucking Page of Pentacles over here. But this Page of Pentacles has been protected by the 9 swords that this 9 swords has right here, you know. And they have been, because that's the wisdom that was offered to them in a world where wisdom is not offered. And that's a rare thing to fucking have. And this Page of Pentacles right now is really starting to realize that. And that's why now they're going to become a knight, because they want to get trained. They've been through training, and they're no longer a page. And they're definitely not a page in the reverse. They're learning their shit right now. They're learning how to protect themselves. And that's all the 9 of Swords has been trying to tell them this whole fucking time, man. Is you got to protect yourself. It says you're bound and cannot see because you listen to your own lies. That's the 8 of Swords. Do you really think you will win? Is the 6 of Swords. And that's the lies that the cult has been telling you right there with the 2 of Cups in the reverse, the Lovers in the reverse, and the 4 of Swords in the reverse. Those are the energies that they've been throwing at you, fucking up all your relationships, fucking up all your love, fucking up all your love for yourself, fucking up your ability to rest, relax, and recover, fucking up your ability to trust lovers. The cult's just been fucking attacking you with all these wicked ass fucking lies and wicked ass deceit, and they trying to block your fucking celebration, trying to get you to doubt yourself. Do you think you're going to win anyways, you know, with that 6 of Wands? So they just want you to give up. They wanted that Page of Pentacles over there to just give the fuck up and quit fighting so hard. They didn't want them to fight at all. They wanted them to fucking succumb to the toxic shit that they got in them 3 cups so they could steal their destiny. That's why they want to keep you bound. That's why they've been trying to keep us bound, you know. And we're breaking out of that energy because we're willing to pull up our sleeves and do the work we got to do, knowing that, wow, they got us both looking like we're a couple fools here, you know? Like we've both been lying, we've both been lied to, and one of us is just a little crybaby and the other one's just an asshole. But that's not at all the fucking case, and that's why the Emperor is here, to stomp down this fucking goddamn cult all the way into the motherfucking ground and destroy them utterly. That's what an Emperor does. That's what an Emperor does, especially when the Emperor is embodying that fucking energy of God Most High. They fucking had enough. They fucking had enough. Oh, hell, man. Yeah. See? We got another Knight of Wands here. These fucking knights, man. And this one also says, it's gonna be fun. So they told this individual, oh, I told you it was gonna be fun, right? That's what they try to tell the fucking Page of Pentacles too. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Swill off this Coke bottle, man. Come party out here with the fucking Knight of Wands. His daddy's really cool. He'll do whatever he wants to you. Yeah, he will. And so that's Games Unlimited. The Games Unlimited, it's gonna be fun. God says, yeah, it's gonna be fun. But that's going to cost you everything. And so God is standing on the neck of this freaking cult right here, and they're shutting them fucking down. That spigot's turned off. It's going to cost them everything because they've been trying to tell everybody, oh, it's going to be fun, you know. Oh, it's going to be fun. Yeah, no, it ain't going to be fun. Not fucking at all. Not for you. Not for you. Fucking Skull and Bones. Not for you. Fucking Democratic Party of the United States of America, Republican Party of the United States of America. Not for you, fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. It's not going to be fun for you, motherfuckers. And that's awesome. It's not going to be fun for you, Donald Trump. It's not going to be. You're not going to shit on the fucking chosen ones anymore and expect us to keep cleaning your fucking mess up. We'll clean up our fucking mess and everything, and we're going to make ourselves fucking shine, and we're going to save our fucking Page of Pentacles who you're trying to rip right out of our fucking loving hands while you shove these fucking swords right through us and fucking do the 10 of swords on our asses. Nah, fuck you, man. That ain't happening. We ain't no joke, and we're not going to be treated like one. Yeah. Yep. 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 There's 8 cups. This 8 of cups right here that we're walking away from. Them are the 8 cups of the empire that's been destroying us. Right? But what we're walking into is our 9 of cups. So we're gonna walk away from the 8 cups of the empire. Those 8 cups are never going to be fulfilling. And when we do, we're going to find our ninth cup. We're going to find 9 more cups, right? And in those 9 cups, it's going to be, how many ways do I say I love me? And that's what they're trying to block. They try to harm that Page of Pentacles so much that Page of Pentacles felt in the reverse because they're so fucking disillusioned, so fucking defeated by the fucking wicked hands of that fucking Nine of Wands in the reverse, by the deceit, the temptation of that Nine of Wands in the reverse, by the cult, you know, that they almost destroyed them. But that motherfucker is a bad motherfucker. They suited up. That Page of Pentacles stood up against the whole world, no matter, even though the whole world made them feel small. And they suited up and they put on that fucking armor. And they said, nah, fuck this shit, man. I'm walking away from them 8 cups that Empire Arts fucking offered me. It's worn out. It don't work. And when they did, they walked right into 9 cups. And in those 9 cups is how many ways can I say that I love me? Well, if you put 1 way in each cup, that's 9. But a cup can hold a lot more than fucking 9. Or a lot more than 1. And so maybe there's 10. Maybe there's 100 reasons why in each one of those cups that you should love yourself. Well, that gives you a wealth of abundance right now. And that's why you also are being offered the 10 of cups, because you go, right now you got so much in them 9 cups that you have that you've learned to protect and everything, and so you can open yourself up and stop feeling like you got to hold back or slow things down in that Knight of Pentacles energy. You know, you don't have to try to protect yourself with lies anymore. You can start to protect yourself with true love and true love for yourself. You know, so you get them 9 cups, and then you got 10 cups, which is like 2 in the bush. Fuck, I got all 10 of them bitches. And so you ain't out chasing after bullshit. You're no longer in that Page of Pentacles energy who feels like they don't have anything to fucking offer. They got to sit down, you know, and you're not in that 2 cups energy in the reverse that they want you to believe in, that you don't deserve God's love. You got all 10 of them motherfuckers. And so you're fucking bad to the bone. And so don't fucking downplay yourself, Knight of Pentacles. Know that your 9 of Swords over here, you're not one of those 9 swords that causes them grief, that they warn you about. You're not, you know. They've been trying to turn you into the 10th sword, the cult has, in order to penetrate right through the heart of this individual here in the 9 of Swords energy. Because they're trying to convince you, you know, like that they're fucking weak or whatever. But just know that those 9 swords that they have, when you're willing to fucking take that mask down a little bit and travel a little lighter with them and love them, 9 of Pentacles, these 9 swords are going to come right off that wall and they're going to fucking defend them 10 cups that you guys got together. You know, and that's true love. And it's true unconditional love. It's love with growth, you know. This is love with growth. And that's a beautiful thing. This is love with growth. And growing through, even in an area that's not suitable for the growth, you know. It's like in a toxic environment and shit, you know. And like, so these 2 have persevered, and fucking every motherfucker that's walked by to try to take shit in their fucking toilet, you know. But they're gonna get out them fucking scoop shovels, and they're gonna get out their fucking their everything they need, because God has given them everything they need. Shit. Fucking everything they need, you know. God's like, nah, these ones right here, I love these ones, man. We're gonna bless them with everything they need. And they've done so because they know now that you're their humble servants. and you're willing to fucking clean up that fucking mess, and you're not gonna sit there and you're not gonna point fingers, because every time you point one finger at another individual, you have three fingers pointed back at you, and you're tired of putting your eyes out with your own fingers. Good work, chosen one. And I want you all to have true love. I do. I want us all to have that. I want us all to have that in ourselves in a way that cannot be denied. And that's what they've made really difficult nowadays. And we're going to change that. And so we're growing together. As we grow and as we see each other more, we open up more, and we free ourselves from this binding cult, that doesn't have our best interest in mind. And they just want for themselves. They want to use us. They want to abuse us. They want to kick us aside. They want to treat us in every horrible way that they are in their heart, because they deny God, and they can't stand to see that God loves us the way they do. And so they want us to be hurt and broken and alone and afraid, because then that lowers our frequency to theirs, and God no longer recognizes us as a chosen one. And so stay powerful, stay strong, stay love. I truly, 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 truly love and appreciate the comments that I've been receiving, and the depth of some of them is just amazing. I love it, and as long as I can keep up, I'm going to keep up with responding to them as best I can. And I promise that, because, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that energy exchange. And like I said, I've reached out and commented a lot on YouTube, and I put a lot of energy behind the comments that I've made, and have often, seldom do I receive a response. Oftentimes I don't, or if I do receive a response, it's pretty minimal, and it's impersonal. And I would like to personalize our experience together, because I think that's how we bring our energies in, and we're able to protect each other. It's like if we have a positive energetic footprint with each other, then I'm aware of you, you're aware of me, and I can think positively about you, and you can think positively about me, and we can have a shared experience together where we're trying to build the same vision, because we agree, and that's the way we're going to experience massive spiritual growth, and we can protect each other. And so in a lot of ways, you're going to know your story. You're going to know where to put your story. You're going to hear your story in these cards, because you're a powerful one and you're a chosen one, and you can do divination, because you can hear your story in the cards here on my table. So that we're all going through this together, and that we're going to win, and that's why it's so important that we do stay interconnected right now. And interconnected, like I'm not going to use AI to respond. I don't want to use AI to respond to my comments and stuff, because that would be almost being defeated. That's not the point here. We're trying to remember what it is to be a human being, and not get sucked into that Knight of Pentacles fucking nightmare that the Matrix has become, because his father is not a good fucking motherfucker. That would be the father of darkness and shit, and that's who we're trying to take down. And so that's the beast. Yeah. We're fierce out here. We're God's babies, We're them warriors that are going to change the world. And I'm really grateful for all the help that I'm receiving and doing that, and the energetic support that you've given out here, guys. Like, that's the only thing that fucking that we do need, that's how we manifest. And so excellent, excellent work. Nine of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. Those are chosen ones. Come on, you keep your chin up today, okay? Keep your chin up today. Those are hard energies to be, working with. But I think that, man, it's gonna come around. Just keep your head up, y'all. It's good. It's good energies. It really is. Like I've been in this energy, the energy that this card's trying to represent here right now, and it's not a there's a lot of solutions. It's a solution oriented. It's a solution oriented Nine of Swords, And so Page of Pentacles never does anything fast, You're not waiting. You're already there. Like, remember that. This is your Page of Pentacles, okay? Nine of Swords. And so those are your swords. Use them to protect what you love, and everything's going to be just fine. You don't have to worry about it. And so God loves you. We're going to take this beast down one day at a time. I need you. As you need me, right? We're in this together. And as God is, I am. Love you guys. Peace out.